Good evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're watching Bulldog Nation. It is the Bulldog Breakdown with Coach Rocco. I'm Cody. Glad to be with you. Coach, it's playoff football. We're going to walk through the snaps, the storyline, the sideline of LCA football this week against Broadway. Took care of the Gobblers.
It was a battle.
It was a battle. I'm excited. We are in the middle of November football. We've told you each and every week how special it is to be here. Nothing's guaranteed at this point, but one thing is guaranteed. We're going to play Wilson Memorial this coming week. It is
Survive in advance.
Survive in advance. That is the mantra. It's playoff time. LCA walks away with a narrow 14-12 win over Broadway. We're going to break it all down. Key plays, standout players, and how the Bulldogs handled adversity. But Coach, we're going to first go to our partners, Maddox Air Electrical Heating, Electrical and Air. I always get that wrong. Maddox, our partners, they bring us the Maddox Power Play of the Week. Coach, we'll talk about it on the other side.
Okay.
But this thing gets me juiced up. Let's go see the Power Play of the Week.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air Electrical and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started. Playoff football has a way of shrinking the field and magnifying every moment. Two high-powered offenses walked into this game, both used to lighting up the scoreboard. But late in the fourth quarter, it wasn't offense that defined the night. With just 11 minutes left, the Bulldogs held a tight 14-6 lead on the road. Broadway had driven to a crucial 4th and 3, knowing a touchdown here could swing everything and set up a tie game down the stretch. What happened next was the heart of Bulldog defense. Austin Tremblay lined up at nose, exploded off the ball with a swim move that left the center reaching for air. He was in the backfield almost instantly. Linebacker Josiah Pillay closed the gap right behind him, sealing off any lane the runner might have hoped for. And then the rest of the Bulldogs arrived, a wall of red and white meeting the ball carrier for a loss. That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air Electrical and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
Yep, that was your Maddox Power Play of the Week. Coach, I knew the moment that play hit, I said it on the sideline. I said, that is the power play of the week right there. Now, that's a former defensive lineman, too.
It's called a twister stun. And
Okay.
so the nose, Austin Tremblay, number 47, he slants to one gap, and then Josiah Pillay, our linebacker, goes to the other gap. So, you know, if it hits right and timed right, you know, your center, you know, is mesmerized by the two guys, you know, taking the A gaps to either side, and that play specifically in a very key situation just hit just right.
You know, Lombardi was famous for doing this is a football. This is fundamentals. When I watched the play, I was struck. I watched it from the end zone view. From the moment that ball was snapped, to watch Austin move into that swim move and up and over. I mean, that's something that, like, he has to have in muscle memory at that point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But he's got, you know, he's a big, thick kid, but he's got a little quick twitch in him too, you know, and nose is a position that we've really wanted to have him play basically all year long. But one thing, you know, we needed him here, and other guys were doing decent jobs and so forth. But as we're coming down the home stretch, the nose tackle position is very, very key in our defense. And I think he's going to give us some you know, more positive plays like that.
Yeah, I've noticed in the last 2 or 3 games, on the stat line, even the defensive line has been getting a lot of hits on ball carriers, hits on the quarterback. We've seen NJ get in there. We've seen Mason get in there. Several of these guys have been in the backfield making plays, which in November, that's huge. That is huge. But let's not forget on that play. I was mesmerized by Austin's ability to get back there. But as you said, Josiah Pillay switched and he got in there. Austin made that hit, but Josiah came in and made that insurance thing of that he's not getting those 3 yards. Right. And it was very clear that he wasn't coming anywhere close to the first down.
Yeah. That was a huge play.
Yeah. So I was going defensive line crazy on the second one at that point because that was massive. Hey, this was a slugfest. It was a defensive battle. And from the first whistle, LCA strikes twice, and made our extra points, which there's the other cliche. You got to be sound in the kicking game. Yeah. The Bulldogs in the end, despite all of the adversity we may have faced, did what champions do. We found a way to win. Yep. Kind of want to talk through some of the things that happened during the game. First of all, we come out and it looks like we may be able to strike at will. Yep. You know, we come down and go right there. We score, and then they score, but then they mess up on their PAT. But then that's all the scoring in the first half. And for all of the middle schoolers everywhere, the score was Broadway 6, LCA 7.
That's right.
I was surprised not to see a little bit of that on the sideline. Going into half, first of all, anything from the first half that you remember that stuck out to you?
Well, I mean, just a couple of weeks ago against the number one team in 3A, Heritage, we ended up losing 35-32,
right,
and we didn't make a field goal, and we missed an extra point. So just 2 or 3 weeks later, we're now making our extra points, and the game swings in our favor,
right.
You know? So like you said, I mean, the special teams and every little play that happens in a playoff game can swing it one way or the other. We blocked the extra points, and so that was huge. And, you know, we practice every week all these little phases of the special teams. And, you know, sometimes, okay, we'll go through and do this. But you never really realize that, no, man, this is a huge play. And if you get your hand on the ball and knock it down, it's a difference between a 7-7, a 7-6. And so that, you know, the other night, I mean, the kids really did a nice job on that extra point block team. And it paid dividends for us. You know, Coach Pribble does such a great job with our special teams. We're rarely not prepared in that facet.
And then it does change strategy on their part because now they've got to figure out: are we going to kick the next time? Are we going to go for 2? In which they did, and they didn't get that. Right. Great play on defense for that one as well. And then eventually their kicking game was going to come into phase in the second half there with a block kick. I do want to ask, every stadium you guys go to is a little different. The grass to me seemed a little long. And I talked with one of the officials and he said that's the standard length kind of there. Is there any strategy to that, or is it?
Yeah, it could be. You know, I think sometimes, you know, when a team may feel like the other team is a little bit more team speed, let's let the grass grow a little bit longer, may slowing down a little bit. I mean, I don't know that was a factor in the game. The field was kind of pockmarked too. You know, there are a lot of potholes and
a whole season of abuse on it.
Yeah. And so we practiced on the grass a couple of times last week, and we'll do the same thing this week. Because Wilson is grass.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever, man. It's end of November, end of season football. You know, play anywhere, anytime, any place. You know.
So let's jump into the second half. A couple plays that stand out to me, other than of course that 4th and 3. And one of them really didn't go in our favor. They're driving. We're up now 14-6. Mm-hmm. And there's a pass over the middle that for a moment I thought was intercepted.
Right.
And then of course I thought it hit the ground because it came out of Josiah's hands kind of weird. But they're number one, incredible athlete.
Yeah, he's great.
Leans back with his
left hand
and catches that ball and keeps, I mean, it didn't even look like he broke stride. Yeah. And he takes it all away for the touchdown. Obviously, that's not one that we go, hey, we want to highlight this, but I do want to talk about resilience because at that point, you're in their stadium. It's the second half. They make a play like that can easily swing momentum. that way. You've got a guy like Josiah who's come in and played exceptionally well. We had him on earlier this season. How do you guys as coaches help a young man like that to lace it back up and go right back out and play defense again and kind of forget that moment? How do you guys do that?
Well, I mean, I think it's not even so much right there in the moment. It's, how you prepare all week, all season long, because we are going to face adversity. We talk about it all the time, and it's about turning the page and moving on to the next play and not, being stuck on something that happened in the past. We need to move on. And, Josiah is a great kid and obviously just overachieving beyond words, and what a great young man, and just so thankful to have his personality and his determination on our team. I mean, he's a great role model for our guys. But I know, you make a play or let a play like that happen. I mean, it could wreck you. And the reality of it was we had to turn right back around and go down and defend a 2-point play on the very next snap, you know. And we didn't have time to be crying alligator tears. We had to get right back at it. And like I said, our guys are built for this. Has been our slogan all year long. And there's going to be good, there's going to be bad, but you got to turn the page and move on. Yeah.
And then it was neat because when you look at the whole game, that was one play. And the truth of it, it was just about every time that there was something happening behind the line of scrimmage, Josiah had gotten up through the line. He was making plays. And on that 4th and 3, he was in the backfield making those plays. Ultimately, we come to the end of the game. They get the ball. They force a throw, and Jaden picks that off. 2 parts to that, and then we can kind of move on. This is just such a special game to watch these guys play. I want to talk about Jaden first of all, because Jaden didn't do a lot of running during this game, but he did play some defense. Right. How storybook picturesque that he's not able to impact it from an offensive perspective, but he seals the game with a defensive play like that. Tell me what you saw in there.
First of all, Jaden has been a complete warrior this whole year. He's not, you think back to Gideon last year, 6'1", 200 pounds. He's built like a Greek god. But, not that Jaden's not built like a Greek god, but he, he's 180 pounds. And when you're the workhorse running back, you're getting shots every single week, 20 carries, he's carried the ball 20 plus times.
And he looks for contact.
Yeah. And so he's getting beaten and battered, and you get to week 11 of a season against the competition that we've played. You're worn down, and it's tough to just keep on grinding. And I think he got a little bit of like a contusion, like on the thigh Friday night, and he just was a little bit hobbled and wasn't full speed. And luckily, both Silas and Mason are two sophomore running backs. They're just coming off of ankle injuries. They haven't played for the last 3 weeks.
Right.
And Jaden's been taking all the brunt, for those 3 weeks. Well, now these guys are back, and they've got fresh legs and they're ready to go, So it was just, it was disappointing that Jaden couldn't finish out on offense, but it was positive in that Silas and Mason were, in the garage waiting to be brought out, and they did a great job.
Yeah, that was my second part, was just how did that make you feel to be able to put those guys in, those young guys, the massive experience that they're getting to be playing at that level, and really to be carrying the load of this team. A lot of yards put in by those guys.
Yeah, who would have thunk it, really, way back at the beginning of the year, and I can remember even talking about this, at the beginning, Gideon, I'm looking as we're speaking, Gideon, player of the, Gatorade player of the year. That is, he may be the best LCA football player that's ever played here, but when he moved on, everybody thought, oh, wow, we're just going to crumble, No, Jaden Cowart, Mason Gunn and Silas Nesserow, even Jacob Parzial is playing some running back right now, and they are all flourishing.
So
They're all flourishing. So, as great as Gideon is, it's like the next man up mentality, and we're a running team. That's what we are. And so who's the next guy coming up through the system? Look down to the JV and the middle school, and both of the guys I just mentioned are both sophomores. We're going to have them for 2 more years, So the future looks bright, and we've been truly, truly blessed with running backs that buy into the system and do what the system calls for.
Before we close this out, I do want to talk about, we always talk about, hey, LCA fans, will you travel? They were loud in that game.
Yeah, I went over the fence line after the game, and I walked up and down the fence line and just thanking people for coming and traveling. And I said, next week, please bring more. Bring your friends, and hopefully I think the school might be doing a student bus and things like that, cheerleaders. And so, we're hoping we're getting some mojo going.
I've gotten some buzz. I actually was when we went to Buc-ee's afterwards. It was pretty great. Actually, that was our plan too. And when we heard the buses were coming, me and Carter didn't know. We did. But some of the cheerleaders came up and they gave me props for being the only cheerleader on the field, because I turned around a couple times and doing this. Where's my cheerleaders? But it would be great to have them. But I was just so impressed. It was really cool to see for their fans for Broadway. There was the local company that I think they bought 1,000 tickets for them to come. So that side was packed out. But I really believe that we matched them with noise. Yeah. And it was exciting for the boys to hear that. So we do want you to consider that. It's less of a drive this week by about 30 minutes. Yeah. And so you want to be there. You talk about all these guys making a difference. There's one guy that we've selected as our Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week, Henry Maier. I just feel like every play that as Carter and I are on the sideline doing stats, Henry's around the ball at all times, whether it's on offense or on defense. And so we're going to check him out. Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week, Henry Maier. All right, Bulldog fans, once again, the Osterbind Law Bulldog of the Week. Welcome to the Bulldog Breakdown, Henry Maier. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Look, we're just going to jump off with some really great news. Coach just walked in here. Coach, you want to share the good news?
Absolutely. We just found out today, Monday, we're taping this, that we have 17 different players on our team that have received all district recognition. Henry was second team defensive back, and he was first team punt returner. And, I've said this numerous times to anybody that wants to listen to me. I think Henry is the best punt returner that I've ever coached in high school football. And I really believe that skill set is going to take him somewhere. And he's a very good defensive back as well, and a very good receiver. But we're very, very proud of him. But then, 17 of our guys all got recognition. Yeah.
Well, that's great. And congratulations to you, Coach. I mean, that's
in
large part to your team coaching these guys, getting them ready.
Yeah.
Henry, you and I have talked off and on about punt returns throughout the season, just looking at all the stuff that you're able to do. And there's one point, I don't know what it is right now. There was one point where you were averaging 10.8 yards a return. Mm-hmm. And I started asking around some different coaches, and they're like, you gotta understand that is like one first down that you've gotten back. But you're also a little crazy. So walk me through what it is we all watch it. Your head's up here like this, the ball's coming down, and I rarely see you wave up. You've got this mentality like, oh my God. So what goes through your mind when that ball's hitting?
Honestly, I don't even see the guy in front of me when I look up. I don't know where he is, but I just really just catch it, and I make the most out of it. Because if I don't catch it, it could roll back. Yeah. And it could be trouble. Yeah. We could start, back in our end zone, and I don't want that to happen. I just make the most out of it and just try to get yards after the catch.
Yeah, you mentioned the 10 yards plus per return.
Yeah.
If that ball would hit the ground and roll 10 yards the other way, so that's really a net 20, you know? And so that's one thing that people don't even realize what a good punt returner is. Just catching the ball. If you just catch the ball and everything else is gravy, just don't let it hit the ground and roll another 15 yards.
You've already gained yards by catching the ball.
Yep.
So is it at what point as a punt returner do you go, okay, I'm gonna go for the fair catch? What is your signal internally?
Yeah. So when it's really high in the air and there's a lot of time for them to rush, come at me, then I realized that, I got to put my hand up because they're right now in my face. Yeah. But I think against Liberty Bedford, the kid was like right in the face.
I was going to bring that one up. That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah, and I was just like, what do I do? So I caught it and he just tackled me right there. But
he caught it and the kid was like, wrapped around it. But no, to be above 10 yard, that especially in high school, that's elite status. Yeah. So you're doing a great job. And let's talk about the game this last week. Exciting, at least for fans to watch it. I'm sure that you guys wouldn't have minded to be up by 40 points and to put it away. But what did you see this week in Broadway in that game? What was some of the moments that stood out most to you that you're going to remember from last week?
From the Broadway game, I think our defense was really locked down against them. Besides a couple errors that we had, we really had lockdown D against them. And, we turned the ball over about 4 or 5 times to them. And we really held them when they were in our red zone. We held them a couple times and we got the ball back. And, we did it from there. So a
couple fourth down stands.
Oh yeah.
As a defensive player, and I know you play all. Let's just be defensive minded right now. As a defensive player, it's 4th down and 3. They've got they're got everything out. This is their season on the line. What does it do for you when you guys stop them and you realize you see that that we've just held them for that?
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was just team effort for everyone. Coward with that huge interception. We just had lockdown D right when we needed it. But yeah, it was a good moment for us.
Over this season, you've played defensive back, punt return, you've run the ball, you've caught the ball. What if you had your choice of positions of things to do? What's I know you want to do them all.
Yeah.
So we're not taking anything off the board. But what's number one for you?
Probably punt return or slot receiver. Definitely is a big one, but probably punt return. Just like catch the ball and just run. That's probably the best I am at right now. But yeah, probably that. Sure.
As a senior on this team, obviously, nobody has to tell you that each of these games are important. I mean, if you're a freshman on this team, you ought to know these games are important. But for a senior, there is no coming back. Yeah. And so each of these games are special.
Yeah.
But I want you as a senior to think of your team right now. Some of these underclassmen that are stepping in. Who are some guys on this team that you've seen step up in a way that has impressed you? All of the guys are doing great. You got 17 guys on district.
Huge.
But right away when I say that, who comes to mind of who's doing a great job on this team?
I think about the running back room where Jaden's leaving next year. He's a senior. I think Mason Gunn and Silas are going to be huge backs for us next year. They've shown it against Broadway. They had really good running game. But I think them, and I think Jordan Burns, receiver, he's a real threat there. He can catch the ball. He's really fast. He's a track star. But yeah, I think those players are good. I think Roman, he's a good linebacker. He's going to carry a lot for that too. But yeah.
What has it meant for you to be on this team?
It means a lot. Last year I was defense and punt return only. I think knowing the stuff for receiving has brought me a long way. I didn't know any last year for receiving the plays and stuff, but now I think that I know that, I think that's helped me a lot through the way, but definitely that.
Coach, you got a guy that can get you 10 yards on a punt return. Mm-hmm. When he's out there, they tend to not throw at him.
Right.
When he's on offense, he's always he's always got a shot to go deep. What does that do for you in developing plays and stuff to have a guy like Henry on this team?
I mean, we don't have many guys that just don't come off the field. Henry's one of those, playing offense, flip over to defense, then you're on special teams. So, I mean, that's a valuable player whenever you got a guy like that. And, honestly, you don't want to have too many of them because then you're running them all into the ground, you know. But Henry is just that valuable to us. And, I call him a slippery athlete. He's fast, but he's not blazing. He's quick, but he's not the quickest. He's got great hands. He's got all of these attributes that you put them all together, and he is a very, very good football player.
Yeah. Before I let you go, 2 questions. I ask this to everybody that comes on Bulldog Breakdown. First one is this. State championships are great. We're seeking our 3rd straight. There's a lot of numbers on that wall that show there's been a lot of state championships that come and go, but it's not the most important thing with Bulldog football. Faith in Christ is. Tell me what you see and why that's an important part of this team to make Jesus the center of what's going on here.
I think that's important because when everyone's around each other, that brotherhood of Christianity surrounding everyone, we all just like to the camaraderie around everyone. It's just great, and when everyone's just like with everyone's Christianity, it helps a lot with that. So,
second is this. And this is a really spiritual question. You ready? I mean, this is deep.
Yeah.
I was walking off the field on Friday night, and Coach stopped everybody at the corner of the field to get your stuff. We're going to Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's your go-to when you went to Buc-ee's?
That was my first time at Buc-ee's ever. I mean, I think they just put that in there in Virginia. I think I got a Slurpee there and I think some beef jerky.
Do they have Buc-ee's up in New England?
No Buc-ee's.
They're making their way.
It's only one in Virginia, right?
It's a Texas thing, yeah.
South. But yeah, first time there. I mean, I didn't really have time to look around or anything, but I just got basic beef jerky, I guess. But yeah.
Next week we head up to Wilson Memorial. Probably gonna be another cold game. You like playing in cold games?
Yeah. I played in a couple of those in Vermont. Snow. I played in a couple of snow games, but yeah.
Well, let's hope it's not snow. Hey, Bulldog Nation, number 11, Henry Maier, all district Henry Maier taking the field. Good luck to you. Thanks for coming to the Bulldog Breakdown. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Henry Maier, Bulldog of the Week. It's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to have around. He's always wanting to get in, always wanting to play. You're going to need him. You're going to need every one of these guys on point this week because we head up to Fishersville, Virginia, an hour and a half away, to play Wilson Memorial, the Green Hornets. Coach, I don't know a lot about the Green Hornets. Let's kind of talk through that a little bit. It's a long road trip up there, but we've proven that isn't something that will keep us. Wilson, as you and I were talking about, they're a 10-win team. What do we need to know about the Green Hornets as we get ready to go play them?
Yeah, I mean, initially 10 wins. I mean, you win double-digit games in any football season. I mean, that's a great accomplishment. Winning is hard. They have a quarterback that is the real deal. He is a running back that can also throw the ball.
Okay.
So they have a very, very diverse and deceptive offense. It's the wing T offense, and anybody that knows football schematics knows that the wing T is, if you don't train your eyes properly, I mean, you're looking everywhere to try to find the ball, and then by the time you find it, it's running by you. So they're going to be a very huge challenge to defend them, and then defensively. They're seemingly very basic, very fundamental, but they're very well coached. So where they're supposed to be, they are, and so just when you maybe try to run a reverse on them while the guy on the backside is staying at home, and you try to down block and kick out while the guy that you're trying to kick out is squeezing the down block. And so they're very, very fundamental. And we have to be on our A game for sure.
When you talk about wing T, I've actually been with a couple teams that have done that. Do they use the pass at all, or is that something?
A little bit. It's not their main thing. They're probably 80-20 run pass, as are most wing T teams. And the quarterback is the running back. I mean, a lot of wing T will use their fullback as the main running back, but these guys use the fullback. But they have the ability to stretch the field downfield. The quarterback does have a good arm. They have a couple of fast receivers that can get down the field. So we've got to,
So you can't fall asleep on that at all.
Yeah.
And as far as weather, have you looked at the weather yet this week?
Yeah, it's going to be warmer, I think, but I think maybe a little bit of rain, as the week goes on. So I don't know. I mean, whatever.
We'll play in whatever.
Yeah.
Coach, we talked about it a little bit ago. Obviously the boys are preparing. The boys are getting themselves ready. You're coaching, doing all of those things. I put out on social media earlier this week that a round 2 game deserves a round 2 style crowd. We need to rally the troops. You talked about there may be opportunity for kids to go up on a bus.
Mm-hmm.
But, in student ministry, I always say this. Look, grab all your kids' friends, pack them in the minivan, and move up the mountain. It's not that far.
Yeah.
And it is one of those things that you just never know how special this is. To be one of the teams playing right now. The entire state of Virginia is paying attention on max preps. So Noah does the max preps. It keeps everybody in tune. In a regular game, we get a lot of views. There may be 500 to 1,000 views in this.
Right.
Broadway game, third quarter, we are at 7,500 views. There's a lot of people tuning in to see what's going on at LCA. One of the things that I, as a fan and a former player, would love is for Wilson Memorial to say, man, that group travels well. Yeah. And so that means that Bulldog Nation, we're going to just need you to make the plans to be there. It's going to be awesome.
Please.
Because I feel that encourages those guys when they walk out and they hear that noise.
Yeah, I mean, and just the community effect of it is tremendous. We all should derive pride from, things that are happening in our community. All of our sports and all of our arts and all of the academics that go on in our school is a testimony to our school.
Right.
So, I mean, we should rally behind all of those things. And right now, football is what it is. I mean, for some reason in this country, football is a big thing and it's going to be in the media. And so we've got to be able to use our platform as a Christian school in playing a sport that is very noteworthy in our state to rally a community behind. So hopefully that will play out Friday.
Well, there you have it. We've got a game Friday, 7 p.m., Fishersville, Virginia at Wilson Memorial High School. It's going to be great. Our Bulldogs are going to be ready. The question is, will you be there? Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and definitely, if by all means you cannot make it, follow us on Max Preps because we'll give you the drive details of how the Bulldogs take another one. We've got one down. That leaves us 4 to go.
Who's counting?
I'm counting. We got to know the whole thing. So it's going to be a good one. Stay tuned. Got anything else?
No, I'm just blessed to be here.
All right. Well, I'm headed off to Taco Bell, so go Dogs.